All right, guys, welcome back to Life Elevated Trailers YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about this Freeride and how we use it year-round, in the dead of winter, in the summer, and for a bunch of different sports. And I'm going to show you how it runs the air conditioner, all the 110 outlets, using batteries, an inverter, and solar to hardly ever have to run a generator when you're out using the trailer. So stay tuned. We're going to go over the basics of what a Freeride is. Then I'm going to go over how I use it in the summer without a generator. Then I'm going to go over how I use it in the winter with the water on. And then I'm going to go over tips and tricks of how I use mine and how I set mine up to really optimize and get the most bang for your buck out of a Freeride. So just really quick, we have another video that goes over the 2026 Freerides and walks through them and shows you all the standard options versus the options we've added, which is a real quick cheat sheet. This trailer is 86 inches tall inside. It's 86 inches tall here at the rear door. It's 92 wide. This is the 24-foot version, meaning it's 24 feet on the floor to the gooseneck. So it's 32 feet overall, and it is 17 feet 6 inches to right here. So that's the garage. Those are the basics. This trailer is heated. It has air conditioning. It has 6,000-pound axles. It has a cargo capacity of 7,000 pounds. So you can put a ton of stuff in it, a ton of toys in it. It'll keep you warm. It'll keep you cool. It has awnings and stabilizers in the ramp and beds and microwave, sink, toilet, shower, all that stuff. Again, watch the other video for all those simple details. Now let's get into how the electronics on this work and how we run the air conditioner without a generator. Okay, so let's start with 12 volt. That's what the batteries are. These 12 volt batteries are charging off of the solar system right now we have on this trailer. So this trailer in full sun can put 110 amps of power back into these batteries. And your 12 volt systems are your lights, your furnaces, your water heater on the ignition side of it, all your USB ports, your jack, on and on and on. Everything except for the microwave, the air conditioner, and the plugs are running off 12 volt. And you can charge just off the sun about 110 amps an hour into these batteries. So how do we use the 12 volt power from these batteries to make 110 power? That's where this inverter comes in. This is the Renogy Rego 3000 watt inverter. And what it does is it pulls power from the batteries and changes it to 110 volt power. So you can run your air conditioner and your microwave and your household plugs inside the trailer off of the power in the batteries, changed to 110 through this, so you don't have to start your generator to run those 110 systems. Also included in this inverter is a charger, so that if you do run a generator or plug this trailer into shore power, this inverter charger is going to push 150 amps into these batteries and charge them. So with full sun and the generator running, you can charge these batteries at 270 amps an hour, which at 800 amp hours only takes about 2.5 hours to go from completely dead all the way back to full. So I pull up to the lake. How does this all work together? I pull up to where I'm camping or the lake or wherever, and my batteries are full. If there was no sun and no charge going in at all, my air conditioner, my other systems are going to pull between like 150 and 200 amps of power at full bore, which is going to drain these batteries in about 4 hours. But with the solar system going, half of that load is going to be taken off of the batteries because they're going to be charging at 110 amps an hour. So then I'm getting about 8 hours of runtime off of my batteries with the solar going. So I can sit there, generator off, nothing running, no noise, and have my AC going and my whole trailer running and just in perfect silence. I've run my trailer. We've been out about 5 hours. Everything's been running super hard and my batteries are down to about 25%. What I would do then is I'd fire up my generator, which is right over here, that I have on a remote start, so I can be inside my trailer and start that Furman generator from a little key fob here. What that Furman generator is then going to do is it's going to power this inverter. And this inverter is going to pass the power from the generator through itself and to the air conditioner. So it's going to power the air conditioner, and it's going to start charging these batteries at 150 amps an hour. So then what we're going to be doing is between the solar and the generator, I run for just a couple hours, and I've brought these batteries all the way back up, and I can shut the generator off. What I like to do is if I know I'm going to go out for a little ride or a little cruise or whatever, I'll turn everything off, fire up the generator. By the time I'm back, everything's full again. I can turn it off and sit and enjoy my air conditioning and everything in silence. So to help you guys understand exactly how this works, I've got my battery monitor here. So what this is it's telling you how much power is going in and out of the batteries. Right now, the air conditioner is running, the generator is off, and we're just sitting here silently enjoying some nice cool AC. With our solar panels, we're netting a 60 amp hour loss per hour. So the trailer will run for about 7 hours from 58% battery charge before it's empty. So I know that. Now, let me show you what happens when I turn on my generator. So I got my remote start here, and I'm going to push that button, fire that generator up. Once that generator starts and clicks over and starts running, I'll show you the panel again. So the generator is now running, and now instead of losing power, we're gaining power, and we're charging at 130 amps an hour, meaning the batteries will be totally full in 2 hours. Now, the cool part about this is right here on my cell phone, I'm connected to the inverter. And so what it's doing is it's passing the power through the inverter to the AC, and then it's sending the rest of the power to charge the batteries. When I go into settings up here, what I've done is I've made my grid input amps limit 26 amps. So what that did is the inverter will only pull 26 amps from the generator. So that way I can use a 3650 or 3650 watt generator, and I can tell the inverter charger to not overpower the 3650 watt generator. 3650 watt generator will put about 26 amps out. So when I limit it to that, it won't overrun what my generator can do. If I had a bigger generator, I could turn it up, but I like bringing this remote start 3650 because it's small, it's quiet, and it powers everything I need. So now if we come back down to the battery monitor, you'll see we're charging at 121 amps, okay? I'm gonna turn on the microwave now and show you how smart that inverter is. So that inverter senses the microwave load, and it immediately throttles the charger down so that we don't overrun the generator and overrun our 26 amps. And that's the real magic here, is that if you set this up correctly, you don't have to pay attention to what's on, what's off, how much power do I have. The inverter is smart enough that it will divert power. Now I turn the microwave off, and you'll see that the inverter immediately reverts the power back into the batteries and ramps the charger right back up because it's no longer sending power to the microwave. Hopefully that explanation made sense and showed you how you can run your air conditioner and all your 110 stuff off of batteries now because the technology has gotten so good. The good news is, if none of that made sense, but you want this to work like it is, bring your RV, bring your motorhome, bring your camp trailer, bring your snowmobile trailer down to us, and we will size your batteries, your inverter, and your generator all together to make sure it works seamlessly for you, where all you know is you watch that when your batteries get low, you fire your generator up. When they're full again, you turn it off, and everything else will work seamlessly because that's what we do here as the experts at Life Elevated Trailers. All right, let's switch to winter. The first thing we've done here at Life Elevated is we've swapped out the 2 5-gallon tanks for 3 10-gallon tanks. That gives us 30 gallons of propane here in the front. I like to get rid of the traditional mounts and use a really heavy ratchet strap with really heavy anchors in the back to keep these tanks in here because they're easier to pull in and out. They're easier to swap. But with 30 gallons of propane, you can run this trailer for a long time in the winter. So for winter use, another thing I like to do, which isn't totally necessary but saves me time and my floor, is I put the ProTech floor on my ramp and all the way in my trailer. It works in both seasons. But what this does is it allows me not to have to use ski glides and not mark my floor up and wreck my ramp and everything. Let's talk about heat. So first thing for the winter trailer, I've got a heated helmet cabinet. In the main body of the trailer is a 40,000 BTU furnace that will heat you right out of this thing. It's a ton of heat. Connected to that is a boot dryer to dry out all our boots. And then I've added a bunch of hooks and things to this to be able to hang all my clothes and get them drying. On a separate thermostat is another 18,000 BTU heater up here in the gooseneck. And the beauty of this 18,000 BTU furnace is all of our water is from here forward in the trailer. So during the winter, it can be 0 degrees outside and I can leave the water on in this trailer. The way I do that is with those big propane tanks in the front, I can run this trailer for days and days on end and not worry about running out of propane. So I'll turn on my water heater, leave that running. I turn on this 18,000 BTU furnace and I shut this accordion door and lock it. With that accordion door shut and locked, the front of the trailer, I can set the thermostat at 40 to 50 degrees, and that way none of the water in the trailer is going to freeze because it's all on this side of that door. And the water tank for the trailer is under this sink right here. You got your 50-gallon water tank also in the trailer, and then your bathroom, which is right here, all stays heated and warm. So while I'm out riding, I keep this section of the trailer really warm using minimal propane with this 18,000 BTU furnace. Next part of this is, what about the gray and black tanks underneath the trailer? How do I keep those from freezing and breaking? Well, I use tank heaters, and I have 2 limits of tank heaters. We do some Wyoming riding, and sometimes it's down into the -15, -20 degrees in Wyoming. So on my trailer, I have a cold night and an extremely cold night switch. So I have my black tank, my gray tank, and then my extreme cold setting. And basically, I have your standard tank heaters, and then I doubled them and put them on the extreme system so that if it is really, really cold, I have double the tank and pipe heaters to make sure that nothing bursts as we're taking showers and getting cleaned up after a hard day of riding. The beauty of this setup is I personally use it. So I know that I went to Denver last year, it was -13. I slept inside this trailer, and honestly, any temperature I wanted in here, I could make it. So I know that this trailer, no matter how cold it gets, is going to keep you and your buddies warm, even in the dead of winter. And you can fit 4 165 sleds in the 24-footer. You can fit 5 in the 30-footer, and you can fit a whole lot more in the 36-footer. All right, the tips and tricks section, it's going to be long because I spend a lot of time in these, and I got a lot of little tricks. So let's just start in the front. If you're going to do the winter, a heated mattress pad is super clutch because when you're out over the gooseneck, the cold does come up through. Let's talk about organization in here. I'm big on it. This door organizer, fantastic. There's a million little trinkets that I always just need to have when I'm out, like to have them there. I add these little spice racks right here. I hook them to the wall right here so I have little spots for stuff. A magnetic utensil holder is great because you can move it around, but it doesn't tip over. Little pad right here that pushes all the water from your sponges down into the sink. And then organizationally, I add hooks pretty much everywhere I can because there's always stuff to be hung up in the trailer. Next thing I like is E-Track. I usually put E-Track everywhere I can put it because I always need to strap stuff to the walls, whether it's extra water, a fire pit, garbage can, speaker, tying down bikes, tying down snowmobiles. I've found that as many anchor points as possible is always a win. I keep a dolly in my trailer because a lot of times I like to bring an extra water tank, and usually they're pretty heavy, so I just strap it to the dolly, strap the dolly to the wall, and then I can take an extra, I have a 55-gallon drum, so I double the amount of water I take. I go from 55 with the tank and the water heater all the way to 110 when I bring the extra 55-gallon drum. Always add the screen doors. I got one extra TV mount so I can take the TV from inside and just slide it right down on this mount outside to watch TV out here. On this auxiliary propane, I always put a T in it because I like to run my grill and my fire pit at the same time. Organizationally, I love these magnetic hooks and these quick hold straps. So I'll have my sled wheels, my extension cords, my propane hoses from my Blackstone and my fire pit, the main power cord for the trailer. I always keep a bunch of adapters so no matter what the power situation is, I'm ready. Blocks for leveling the trailer out. And then when you're out, it's always better to have your jack as short as you can on blocks because you get less play in the trailer as you're out camping, and I don't have to use my front stabilizers as much. I've found I can never have enough light, so when I order mine, I always add extra load lights all the way around the trailer so I can light up the whole area. Another thing I really like is when I buy my generators, we sell the Furman brand here. I do a remote start on them so that I can fire up the generator from a key fob from inside the trailer, so I don't have to get up and walk around. And that way I can leave it like 50, 60 feet from my trailer. And even when it is running, when we're around, I don't have to listen to it. So in summary, here at Life Elevated Trailers, we can build you a trailer that will work without a generator for your AC in the summer. We can build you a trailer that will also work to where you can shower in the dead of winter. Basically a true 4-season toy hauler camper. On top of that, any trailer you already have, any trailer you're looking to buy, we can retrofit with our full battery system, full inverter system. And what we will do is we'll make sure that the technology is cutting edge so that you get the most bang for your buck here. And we do the things that serve you the best. And as you can see, we go out and use these trailers and test this stuff in the real world. So give us a call and we are more than happy to help you with your next build or to make your old trailer work like a new one.